Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Dusty Books. Sorry about that. The camera said that it had disconnected, and I'm like, why has it disconnected? Please let me know if you can hear me okay. I am actually in a new location, and I'm using a new computer. So I'm just heading over to my channel right now, and hopefully I can hear myself. Not that I like to hear myself, but it says I'm live and says that you can see it. Okay, so it looks like we're going vertical. Okay, what have I done? Oh, that's right. That explains it. The settings in StreamYard. So, that's weird. All right, so, hmm. Um, Okay, I don't know what is going on here, but it seems that I've got to do some fiddling around in the back end of this. It looks like that I have accidentally put it so it is vertical. I didn't mean to do that. So, and it's too late to change it now while I'm streaming. So, interesting. That is very interesting that that's happened. My bad. Obviously, I didn't check a box. And it must be automatically doing it now. And so, yeah. So anyway, while I fiddle around with the things in the back of house and see if I can't change it, basically we're going to be working on the Birdsville cushion, and that means that we're going to be getting some stitches into it today. This is what it's going to look like. Just bear with me for just a second. There's been some updates and everything on the StreamYards thing that I use, and so I have to make sure that I need to check that next time I go live, and I can't change it once I've gone live. That's the worst thing. So yeah, so I do apologize if you're seeing it in the vertical. There is another let me just see if I can find which one it is, and I can drop that in the comments where you can oh, it's not telling me which way it's going, so I do apologize for that. All right, let me just see, because it's streaming twice, so one in the vertical and one in the horizontal. So let me just see which one this is. If I view on YouTube, maybe it'll tell me. Okay, so that top one is the vertical one. All right, so let me get rid of that, and then I can get you the shareable link for this one so you can see a little bit better. Unfortunately, I can't actually change anything in the back of house. So let me just drop this in the comments for you. This is the landscape. And that is my bad. Yeah, so anyway, as it is, we've got two views today. So there is the landscape view. I've dropped that into the comments. That should come up on both, so you can click on that and that should open up for you. Anyway, today I can see the view, so I'll make sure that you can see what's happening and everything. So yeah, so that is the cushion that we're working on, and I have done a fair bit on it, and we are up to the section where we're doing all the fancy work on it. So you can excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, dust, obviously. Went out back and patted the dog, and he was very dusty. So you can see there that that is what I'm working on. We're going to put some stitches into this little guy here today and into this one before we head off. And so, yeah, So you can see it's coming together. I have to still put around the outside of them a few French knots. So you can see here I put some French knots into that one. And yeah, so that is starting to look good. And I think that this one here has the French knots around the outside as well. So it just fills it in a little bit. And then that means that, you know, it's going to look a lot fuller once we finished with it. And of course, we do have a little garden that goes across the bottom. If you're new here, this is the garden that goes across the bottom. So yeah, so exciting stuff that we're getting it done. So we're going to be doing, so let me get rid of the mouse. Excuse me. Oh, it's one of those mornings this morning. No, sneezing, coughing, wheezing. Haven't had coffee yet either. Like, what is going on? The body's going into shutdown mode. So basically this one has a lot of back stitch on it, so just to hold it down, and then it's got like a little French knot on each one. But I'm going to take a leaf out of my friend's book and possibly put some beads on this as well. I'm not usually a huge beading person, but yeah, anyway, I think I will need to put a bead on that. I think a little gold bead or something, because, you know, he's cute. He is cute. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to work on today. So do some back stitching. So I'm going to put a contrasting. It doesn't say to do contrasting. It's basically looks like it's just a blended in one on this. So this is you can see here. Let me bring it up a bit closer. You can see here we've got that garden that runs through, but you can't actually see the threads on that. So I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe, it is the same colors. So I'm going to use the same colors just so it doesn't stand out and look a little bit weird. So yeah, that is where I'm at today. So I've got the blue out already. So let's get our needle threaded up, and we just use a double thread for this one. So let me get the first one out. A bit of a mishap down the bottom here. Just snip that. All right. I mean, if it says streaming in two places, I mean, it's not a bad thing, I guess, in two different views. Some people like to watch in that sort of view as well. So, all right, we can put that aside. All right, I am out the front today. I got a new computer. I wanted to test it out. Sorry for you to be the guinea pig of the day, but yeah, I just wanted to test it out and see how it went. If it drops out, we'll just end the stream and we'll go back to the other computer next week. So, all right. So for those that don't know what backstitch is, we come up and we do a little stitch to start off, and then we come an eighth or a quarter of an inch, depending on what you're doing, along, and then we come up in front of it. So there's a bit of a gap from the last stitch, and we just basically, we just go in, come up, and we're getting really close to the edge. Okay, we come up, and you can see the back stitch, the first stitch is there, and we go down in the same hole as the back stitch, previous stitch, and then it creates a little line, and we just basically go backwards and forwards. Forwards and then go backwards, and that's why it's called back stitch, because we're going back. So if you've not been to a Slow Stitching Saturday before, this is where I just am doing mostly doing things by hand, so hence the name Slow Stitching. Sometimes we do diamond painting. Sometimes we do so yeah, so it just depends what we're doing. We just try to do something very slow. Hey Chris, how you going? Welcome on in. I do apologize for that. I didn't realize. You could go to either one. Either one is fine. So I have put the landscape view in the comments. So if that you find that easier to go and watch, but yeah, I can't change it once I've gone live. So yeah. And if I turn if I switch it off, there's nothing happening on that stream. And I didn't realize, I just thought it was they just had this view here, and that I didn't realize that I had been set to that. So yeah, so how are you today? What's going on today? It is what it is, right? There's not much I can do about it. I do need to get my other frame down because I do like to do two-handed stitching, especially when doing back stitch. That it stops the moving around a lot as well. There are a lot of people that watch the vertical streams. So yeah, I possibly could have maybe streamed this to stream that one to I don't know if you can stream in two places on that, like with the vertical one or not, because you can pick one or the other, I guess, now. But anyway, I've got the view here so I can see if it's out of shot and stuff. So hopefully whoever's on the yeah, let me know where you're watching from as well. So are you watching from the landscape or the, why are you not going through? Have you got a break? Oh, my needle broke, that's why. All right, that's gone. All right, let me just see, do I have some more needles here? Let me have a look. Oh, it doesn't look like I've got any more needles here. Let me just go and grab, that one's very much broken. Just bear with me for a second. I'm just going to go and grab some needles. I think I'm out in the studio today. All right, we've got some needles now. I got plenty of needles now. All right, get a couple of these out. That was a pretty old needle that I'd been using. All right, let's put them over there. Get some new ones into my little kit here. Oh, these are nice and sharp. So that one was a little bit dull. So it's going to make a big difference. That's just so I can put them in a bit later. And we'll thread up again. Come on. A bit of a bear on that. I'll have to get the nail file on it. Yeah, I am excited for the concert. I'm excited to be going away for a few days with Brendan. It's going to be good. And yeah, just, you know, it's always nice to get away. I know I was down at Savannah's, but this week, but that was busy. This one, we're actually going away to relax, like there's a pool and there's a sauna where we're staying, and it's an apartment, and so it's going to be nice just to relax. And yeah. Would you ever combine these streams into a much longer video once the project is done? Yeah, probably. I'd probably take snippets out of it and just have a bit of a time lapse sort of thing, so people can actually watch it in the finished project. My backstitch is a little bit much to be desired at times. I just don't do it enough. That's the problem. I guess, like, if you wanted to, but this has taken me, just doing a little bit at a time, has taken me quite a substantial amount of time to do it. And then I had a bit of a break as well. So that also means that it's taken time. So yeah, it's probably like, I guess if I just got in and this was the only project that I was doing, um, I actually don't know how to be a crafter that only works on one project in time from start to finish. I've never been that person. I always like to have a couple of things going at a time, because yeah, it makes life interesting. Then like you've got a couple of things happening, and I like it that way. I don't know. So, there is another wool felt project that I've got here that is like essentially 4 of these, and then some. So it was a gift from my friend Gail, and it just, yeah, it's going to take me forever. So that one will probably make an appearance every now and again. I don't know whether it'll just depend, I guess, like whether I use it for slow stitching Saturday. I do have a couple other slow stitching projects on the go, as well. So yeah, if you're watching from the vertical view, let me know, like, is it working for you? Is it a good view? Do you not like it? It was my bad. I didn't check the settings, and yeah. But you always have so much on your plate. You do a lot. You accomplish so much in a month. Yeah, some things get put by the wayside though. Like craft has been put by the wayside just recently, just so I could. I was actually feeling a little bit of burnout, from all the crafting that I was doing. So I actually took a little bit of a hiatus this year, from filming and everything like that. And going forward, I'm just taking it easy and not trying to stress myself out too much with all the filming and all that sort of stuff. Tutorials are going to be probably few and far between. I'm not too sure yet what I'm going to do with that. I may end up just coming back next year with, one tutorial a month or something along those lines, just so I don't get that burnout, because 1 or 2 tutorials a week is a lot. And I have been doing this since 2018. And it's, I mean, I'm set up pretty good now and whatnot. And I just like to do things that, I like to share my passion of craft and all that sort of stuff. And I am a multi-crafter, so I often do have a lot of things going on. And yeah, and then throw tutorials in on top of that. Whew, it's pretty hectic. So yeah. But I don't know whether I'll do this vertical streaming again. That was purely a mistake. That for anybody that's watching and that's just come in, well, that was a bit of a big stitch. Yeah, when I've set it up wrong, and I've just come in this morning and started because I was running a little bit late. So yeah, but it seems to be streaming okay. Like the camera's working okay and all that sort of stuff, and the microphone seems to be working okay. Let me know though in the comments. Is it working okay for you? Because this is a new computer too, so it's the first time I've streamed on it. I wasn't going to, but I ended up thinking, well, it's already set up out in the sewing room, so maybe I should just use it for streaming. And let's see if I can get one more stitch out of this, because this is all I need. Nope. I'm going to have to do another stitch. Just take that out the back. All right, I'm going to have to finish that off later because that is just too small. I mean, it'd be good if I can use this angle and stream onto Instagram, I guess, or TikTok or somewhere like that. I could probably do it. Come on, just come through. Thank you. All right. Let me see if I can get this one last stitch in. Doing a little bit of thread chicken. I don't think I can. Oh, maybe. Oh, yes. Look at that. Got that in. Now I'll tie that off in a minute. There we go. We got I only had one stitch to go. Like, anyway, it's not a very good stitch, but it's a stitch nonetheless. This is a very whimsical piece, and like it does, like it's got zigzags and everything on it. So I really like the fact that it's so whimsy and whatnot. And yeah, my like this is a perfect project for me because my stitching is so dodgy. Like I just do it for the love of it. I am not a perfect person, and not by a long shot. So yeah, when it comes to this, okay. Sorry, I just had a message come through. I don't know who you are, so I'm not going to be responding to that. It just came through 3 or 4 times, so yeah. All right, so do let me know where you're watching from. Are you watching on the vertical stream, or are you watching on the landscape? Because your girl buggered up this morning and has to go in today. I do apologize for the confusion, but uh-oh. One moment, please. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear me or not, but my camera has just decided to not work. So bear with me for just a second. There we go, we're back. All right, so let me just make sure that my audio is correct so we don't have an echo. All right, you can hear me okay now. You shouldn't have an echo now. There we go. I do apologize for that. So yeah, I pumped the cord. Oops. So we won't be doing that again. So I don't have a dark green here at the moment. So as you can see, these are all my colors. So I'm just going to go and quickly grab a dark green. And because I want to put dark green on this, we're not supposed to be able to see this. So yeah, that was a bit weird that happened. Thank you for acknowledging that I do a fair bit in a month. I appreciate that. Glenda's also here as well. Good morning. Welcome on in. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go big and tall. There we go. So we can see the comments coming up. Beautiful stitching. Watching in the landscape view. Also watching in the landscape view is Chris. Awesome. Thank you so much. I probably won't. Yeah, it's so weird. I can hear you fine. Awesome. There is a little bit of glitching happening and all the rest of it. So I'm guessing that it's struggling a little bit on that in that thing. As she returns to her glory fully. Okay, right. Sorry about that. Yeah, it just bumped out. So, all right, I think I've got it sorted now. So I just took away some of the stuff that it was running. So I realised I had my hard drive plugged in, and my laptop, my keyboard was plugged in, and also my phone. So I've just taken all them out. So that's okay. This is just a spare computer to edit on, and I just thought I'd give it a go and see what the streaming was like. So yeah, but it seems to be okay, apart from that little hiccup there. But it could be that the port is a bit dodgy as well. So from what I can see, you can hear me okay and everything like that. So luckily I've got that background. Thank you for watching that. All right, I'm going to grab some green thread for this, and I'll be back in just a second. Lucky for me, I'm out in the studio today, so it's easy to grab it. So I'm going to use the colour 319. I think that is a good colour for it. It's pretty close to the colour. I'm matching the colours on this one. So, but I will leave that out because I'm using that on another project at the moment. So yeah. All right. I think that we might be under control now. I think that now that I've got all those things out, unplugged from this is only a little computer. It's not meant to be doing what it's doing. I just wanted to test it and see what the capabilities of it was and all that sort of stuff. So next week, we definitely will not be using this one. We'll use my other one. So yeah. I mean, this is great in a pinch, but with it dropping in and out, and when you test something, you've just got to have that problem, aren't you? You're just going to have things dropping in and out. So yeah, anyway, we have liftoff, as they say. If I can just thread a needle this morning, it'd be great. I think this has a bit of a burr on it, and it keeps catching on the eye of the needle. All right. All right, so I'm looking forward to this morning, getting some reading done a bit later. I have sprints with my bookish Patreons this morning, so that's exciting. Get some reading done. I haven't read for the last couple of days. I've also got to do some housework, so I definitely will be listening to an audiobook. getting some cleaning done, and I've got to pack. Give Lockie all the instructions for the kittens. I mean, it's not too hard. Make sure they're fed and watered. And they'll be in the house anyway, so make sure they don't destroy the house is probably the other one. So this is supposed to have just the back stitch, and that's it. There's nothing else put on it except for a little French knot on this blue bit here. But I think that I'm actually going to put a little gold bead on there. I do have some gold beads, but I probably wait till the last stitches go in and do that last, because I am working on another project that has those gold beads in them. And I want to sort of maybe get that finished first. But we'll just see how we go. I may end up changing my mind again, as this is a work in progress. So yeah. I think that like StreamYards has brought out this new vertical thing because it's quite popular for people to watch stuff in the vertical. Like I have noticed also on, like, you have the option of either way. I mean, this is great, this vertical way, because I could take bits and pieces of it and use it for shorts. But yeah, I don't think you have the option to record one and stream another, which would be better. But at the same time, I can also now sort of take bits and pieces of this, bring it down to a short video, and I can possibly put it on TikTok. I'll be able to put it in a few different places, which is a good thing, because sometimes, like, my camera is a good on my phone is good, but sometimes you just need to use your phone for other things other than filming. So yeah. I haven't read any craft books this week. I actually haven't read much this week at all, because I've been super busy out of the house with people. I've been editing. I've been doing a lot of bits and pieces. Let me know what you're working on in the comments as well. I always like to know bits where we bit of sticky beaks in that aspect, aren't we? Have to know all the things. So I'm going up onto the second one now. Right. All right, start our next thread. For those that are wondering what I'm doing, I'm actually doing a backstitch. And I know you can barely see the thread, but that's because I want it to blend in. And pretty much once I've done this flower, we're actually moving the hoop. So we'll move on to some other stitches and leaves and stuff like that. This is probably my favorite little center. It's got like, what's it got, 7 petals on it. It actually turned out really well. I'm liking, so there was supposed to be like swirls on these, like circles, and go in and then have French knots in the center. But I did these ones the other day. The other day with these little flowers in them, because the bottom ones have flowers in them. So these ones are supposed to have swirls that are on the tree, and the bottom ones are supposed to have the lazy daisies in the center, and with a French knot in the middle. And I decided that I'm going to do all of them with the flower in it, because I just think it looks a bit better. The swirls just, I don't know, they just don't look right to me. And it, it is, the pattern is there as a guideline. It's not an absolute. It doesn't have to be a carbon copy. So that's why I'm thinking that I'm just going to do the flowers in each one. So like in this one here, I'll probably do this, do an orange maybe, or a bright yellow or something in the center, so it stands out a little bit more. And then obviously it'll have whatever pattern it needs around it. So these down here still have to have French knots put in them. And you can see on this one here that I've already done the French knots, so how it fills it up a little bit. See how it looks a little bit sparse, but then you put the French knots in and close it up. And a couple of these also have French knots around the outside as well. And then of course I've got the ones over here that I did last week as well, so you can see them. They've got their flowers in them. So again, this has got to have French knots on it. So yeah, but I've got a different frame for that. That is as a tabletop frame. So basically it just sits there, and I can do it too, because I need 2 hands for it. So I'll be able to do it two-handed. So you'll get to see a whole ton of French knots being done. So yeah. I probably should get that frame down and just have it here. It was I was running late this morning, so I couldn't do it this morning, because the simple fact is I would have had to adjust camera angles and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, and that takes a long time. But once I am ready to do the French knots, I'll definitely get that frame down, and I may even get the frame ready for next week, because the fact that I need to do fly stitch, and it's easier. As you can see, I'm doing two-handed back stitch at the moment, and I'm moving everything all the time, whereas if I have that other frame, I actually put a little bit of blue tack on the bottom. It's a tacky putty that I put on the bottom of the frame, and it'll stick on the table and it won't move, so it makes it a little bit more stable for viewing. and whatnot. I have used it in the past on my videos and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I can do a lot of these embroidery stitches in hand, back stitch, running stitch, all that sort of stuff. I can do in hand. I can do fly stitch in hand. It's just, if you don't need to, you don't need to, right? What matching game are you playing, Jean? Well, so far so good. I haven't gone out of frame really on the vertical one. I cannot believe I didn't check that setting. Oh, dear me. Anyway, it is what it is on that. So, yeah. It is what it is. What can you do about it? Ah, dear me. I will make sure that that setting is not clicked next time. I didn't even think, like, when I come into the back of house, there's an extra camera view there. I didn't even think, like, it didn't even cross my mind. I just thought, and of course, it's also got to cross through it. So I just thought it was just a new setup that they've got in the back of StreamYards, that they're both there. I didn't think that it was checked, because, like, it's got a like, my view in the back of house, it gives me all the different sorts of camera angles that you can do. So I can have, 2 guests on. I can put myself down in the corner, if I've got 2 cameras and all that sort of stuff, right, for sharing. And so the vertical one has a cross through it. So I just figured, oh, it's not streaming. It's just a new layout they've got in the back of house, and the crosses through it, meaning that it's not streaming. It wasn't until I went live and went, oh, and then I tried to change it and I couldn't change it. And I'm like, oh. Well, at least I couldn't find where to change it. That maybe there is somewhere, I don't know. But anyway, it is what it is. We'll do 2 streams today, in one, like the same stream twice at the same time, in different aspects, right? If nothing else, we're human here. We make mistakes. So yeah. This is going to look amazing once it's done. I am so looking forward to getting it in a frame. That I'm going to frame it up myself. So that means I'm going to have to, string it and all that sort of stuff to get it nice and even. And that's always a fun time. Always a fun time. So what I figured out about this computer, it streams okay, and all the things, but I think that the USB-C is not the best in it, as power goes, and StreamYards does use a lot of power and whatnot. But I think that I think for the most part it's okay. Like, I don't know whether I would do it all the time. And I did stream the other day with, well, I didn't go live, but I was using it as a back of house so I could talk to Coda and everything the other day, and it worked fine. Didn't miss a trick, but I was using the camera that's in the computer because it's got its own webcam. And I had to come in at the end of the stream because the my other computer started, I couldn't work out what had gone on. It just started doing an update during the stream. So I've turned those updates off on that, and I'll just do them manually from now on. Yeah, it did an automatic update, and I'm like, seriously, that is just rude. So yeah. But anyway. The one thing I will say about this is so whimsical, and it's got so many things on it. If you wanted to do this, it's called Birdsville Cushion. It's by Wendy Williams, and you can get it at flyingfishkits.com. You can get it from there, and I believe there is a PDF, but if you're here in Australia, you can actually get the the paper pattern for it. There's so much stuff on this. If you were new to stitching and all the rest of it, it wouldn't make a difference if you weren't perfect. Like mine is not perfect, not by a long shot. I don't do enough fancy work to be perfect. My friend Jenny, oh my God, Jenny is amazing. I would love Jenny to stitch all my stuff because I know that my work would be amazing, but then it wouldn't be my work, would it? It'd be Jenny's work. So yeah, I'm hoping that next year I've got a couple of embroidery pieces that I want to do. But whether I get to them next year or not, I don't know. We'll see. Like I've collected a lot of stuff that I will do in the future and stuff, but I want to definitely do this one piece. It's called Girls' Day Out, I think it's called, or Girls Shopping or something like that. And there's she's got like an Audrey Hepburn big hat on, and they're buttons that you sew on, but there's all these little different shops that she goes to and all that sort of stuff that you stitch out, and it's absolutely stunning. There's all these different blocks, and Jenny did one similar that I think hers was called Girls' Day Out. That's maybe where I'm getting the mix up from, but yeah, hers was absolutely stunning. I had the pleasure of quilting the quilt for her, and she's also done Down in the Garden by which I'm actually working on still. That I've got the first block stitched, and I'm part the way through the second block, I think, if memory serves me. But I need to really sort of pull them out and start doing a bit of stitching on that, maybe on the nights that I'm home on that, so I can get some stitches into them. I haven't done any cross stitch lately. I sort of lost my mojo a little bit with cross stitch, but I am sure that mojo will come back. I mean, really on sprint days and stuff like that, I have been doing a lot of behind the scenes work and planning and all that sort of stuff for December, but I'm pretty much done with that. I've got a couple more videos to film and stuff, but I could pretty much probably do, it wouldn't hurt me to do an hour or two, or at least one sprint every time I sprint onto a piece. I am going to be putting some serious stitches into my Red Dragon next year. So that will be getting done. Most days I'll be stitching on that. Will I get it finished next year? I would love to, but I'm not going to say that I'm going to get it finished because it is a massive piece. It's got like almost 500,000 stitches in it. But I am almost across the top. So I dare say in early, probably from March onwards, there'll be a lot more stitching going into it because I'm away for the first couple of months of, in the UK for the first couple of months of 2026. So I'm obviously not going to get any stitches into it then. So, but I am going to take a small piece with me. I've got to pull it out. I've got a little tiny bag that I can put small projects in. So I'm going to put 2 small projects in to do on the plane. Still want to, it's a very long piece. While I'm listening, and I don't know if I'm going to listen or whether I'm going to read with my eyeballs. So I'm going to take it just in case I want to do some stitching. Because I'm going to be reading Calabasas with Savannah. But yeah, I'm going to take a crochet project. I've got a scarf there that I'm going to take with me. Maybe, I don't know yet. Because there are going to be days where there are down days because of weather, or we don't go out at night or something along those lines, or there's a couple of days where Savannah will probably go out with her friend and I can have a couple of down days and just relax, maybe potter around the town that I'm in, go down to a cafe or whatever and let her and her friend go off and do their thing. But that definitely won't be until because we're going to Oxford twice, and we're staying a few days. Like it'll mean that Savannah will get to spend a little over a week with her friend. And that, so I'll probably gate crash them on the first few days, and then I'll just say, you know what, I'm just going to go and potter around myself, go and have a look around the town, do a few things, go sit in a cafe, do all that sort of stuff, go and have a nap or whatever. Go ahead and check out the libraries and all that. I mean, I'm going to be doing that anyway with Savannah, but I mean, Liv and Savannah are great to hang out with, but they don't need that. They don't need me hanging around with them the whole time. They should just go and do some stuff. So, and I'll have some editing to do. I can do some reading. I can do some planning. I can go and do some filming, all that sort of stuff. So I'll have plenty of stuff to do. For me, it's a bit of a working holiday because I will still be filming and stuff like that, because I've got content that's got to come out around the women's prize and all that sort of stuff. So, and Savannah's cool with it. She you've seen in videos, she just like she's so used to it. She's grown up with it because like I've been doing this since 2018. So pretty much, and I was doing a little bit of it beforehand as well. So yeah. Yeah, she's always used to me taking pictures and all that sort of stuff for, groups, and I've taken video footage of them before and of working on the long arm machine and stuff like that. So she's sort of grown up around it and she doesn't care. And Brendan also does YouTube as well. So she really didn't have a choice with both of us because we're both doing it. But if you go back and look at my videos, they're very rarely in it that we always ask their permission and all that sort of stuff. Neroli does not like to be on camera unless it's on her terms. She gets on camera more with Brendan than she does with me, because one, she's with Brendan more doing cars and stuff because she's a car girly, whereas she does craft and she's very good at it, but it's just not her thing. That she just doesn't want to do it. So, which is fair. I can respect that. And so we've always made a point of asking them first, like, we're going to be filming. Are you okay with it? And they'll say yes or no. If they say yes, then we just film normally. If they say no, then we just we modify our filming aspect and all that sort of stuff, because it's their own choice to be on it. Like when they were little, we used to take footage and stuff because Brendan worked away. So sometimes there'd be videos and that would go up on Facebook of them. And there was lots of photos and stuff because Brendan worked away. So he was missing out on a lot of their day-to-day life. So a lot of my pictures are really mundane pictures because they're just day-to-day life that Brendan needed to see. So when he came home, he could have a conversation with them, and because what kids like, you ask them, oh, what have you done? Oh, nothing. What are you doing now? Nothing. What did you learn at school? Nothing. There's a lot of nothing happening in kids' lives. So it was a way for him to have conversations with them, and they would get excited and talk about, oh yeah, we did this, we did that, oh, mum took us here, mum took us there, that, and he still was able to be a part of it. And sometimes we'd even like video call him and whatnot, or we'd jump in the car and go and meet up with him. Like we took him down to Canamble in New South Wales at harvest time, because Brendan was down there at harvest time. At the time he was driving grain trucks and stuff. So he'd go out on the farm, sit in the middle of nowhere waiting for the farmer to come in and dump all the grain into his truck so he could take it down to the silos in town and stuff like that. And there'd be just trucks everywhere at harvest time. And, yeah, so we went down and we camped at the local caravan park, and then during the day we got in the truck with Brendan and spent the days with him. And then there's pictures of the girls, like I just went and picked him up from school one day. Brendan needed some tools and his boss couldn't get him down to him. He rang me and he goes, "What are your movements?" I said, "Nothing. I'll pack the car." I packed the car, went and picked me and Narrowlee packed the car because she wasn't in school at the time. And then we went and picked the other two girls up from school in the middle of the day, gave them a change of clothes. They got changed to school. We jumped in the car and we drove for 8 hours to go and meet up with Brendan. And we spent, I think we spent 3-4 days down there, if memory serves me. And we just camped down there. And yeah, we went to the pool on one day. We went and done some secondhand shopping, and yeah, we just hung out. And Brendan came, like, still worked during the day. A couple of days we went just around the town and all that sort of stuff. He still went to work and whatnot, and then came and had dinner with us, and stayed at the tent with us and all that sort of stuff. So the girls got to see him at work. And yeah, so it was a good experience for them. They learnt a lot. Narrowly learned to read while traveling around. Like, she's seen a lot of this country, that with Brendan, because she used to go on the truck, because there was 2 years between her and Savannah starting school. And so in that 2 years, the first 6 months, she was very lonely. We lived out in the middle of nowhere. There wasn't a lot of kids. We went to, local play groups and stuff like that, but she was very lonely. So Brendan asked his boss if he could take Narrowly in the truck a couple of times. And yeah, so she'd go for a week here, a week there, and then he'd get a job where he'd be able to drop her back home, because he'd come close enough to home and we could go and pick her up. The longest she was ever in the truck was 6 weeks. And that's because they couldn't get home because of flooding and stuff like that, and the harvest. So it was quite interesting that, yeah. And so, yeah, she was in the truck. I tell you, that girl slept when she come home. She slept like nothing else. So, yeah, poor thing. Because it's a big day. It's a big, big days and stuff like that. So, yeah, there we go. All right. We did it in an hour. That's amazing. And we didn't have too many mishaps with the streaming or anything else. But there you go. The peacock is now sewn down. So I'm going to put, I've got to put a little tacking stitch into these, where the bead's going to go. And I'm not going to put the bead on it yet, because I'm going to be moving it around. I've still got to bring it down here to do the hoop and all that sort of stuff. So it may end up in the hoop. So there's no point in putting glass beads on it, because you'll just break them. But that is my little peacock for today. Thank you so much for spending the morning with me, having a cup of coffee while I got some slow stitching done. I really do appreciate it. And of course, I will be back next week. And yeah, I'll be back next week with some more stitches going into this. I don't think I'm going to get any more in today, because I've got to do housework and stuff like that. So yeah, so that is pretty much my stitching for today. I've had part of my cuppa and all the things, but thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and yeah, and do all the things, give a thumbs up and all the rest of it. If you're watching on the replay, thank you so much for watching on the replay. Leave me a comment, let me know what you're working on. And of course, next week we won't have the vertical view at all. So I might end up doing a little stream to Instagram or something like that later on down the track. But I will make sure that I don't click that, because you can't change it after you go live. But that's it from me today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Happy crafting, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.